So two things that I truly love. First, family. Second, trucks. Even better, I love when my family and other families can spend time together and around trucks, especially different commercial vehicles. So I'm your host, Josh Hannaberry with the Truck Focus podcast. Super excited for my interview today as I interview Bradley George, one of the organizers of the upcoming Lesco ProShow Country Christmas Convoy. So the upcoming convoy is all about bringing families together while enjoying incredible conversation and best of all trucks. 3 million Christmas lights. That's right. So it starts December 11th at noon at the Blackjack's Roadhouse in Nisku. Then around 5, the convoy is going to take off to the Leduc West Antique Society Center in Leduc County. So if you're interested in participating, make sure that you reach out to Bradley or Lesco distributors. I've included their contact details in the show notes because this is going to be an incredible event. So remember, December 11th starts at noon. You have to be there. It's just going to be phenomenal. Just, yeah, super excited. So let's get to it. Bradley, honestly, thank you so much for hopping on the podcast tonight. Super excited. And I'm super grateful too for everything that you and the team are doing to set up this entire convoy. And yeah, I'm super hyped for our conversation tonight. So thanks so much.
Thanks for having me. I'm pretty excited about this.
So no, I appreciate it, man. And just even from our first conversation, just the fact that you and the team you're really willing to give, and you know that it's for the greater good. All in all, I think it's awesome. So I do appreciate it very much.
Thank you. Yeah, and it's if it makes somebody's Christmas, right? It's all about the kids.
Totally. Yeah, no, that's awesome. So to start us off, why don't you kind of highlight who is Bradley and share some of your experience in the transportation industry?
Well, I grew up in a small town north of Edmonton. I started swamping at about 18. I did that for 2 years and I got my license and I started running bed trucks as moving drilling and service rigs around. And now I have my own truck. I do off oil field and equipment hauling, and I enjoy it. I love it. I've always been a trucker, or always been into them since I was a young age. My dad was a construction guy and always around trucks. And I think ever since I was like 3 years old, I could probably tell you what a Kenworth was. So that's, yeah, I love it. I love all trucks.
Awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, once it's in your blood, that's it. There's no going back, eh?
Yeah, no, keep them shiny and clean and get the thumbs up.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. Yeah, no, and I think we were talking off camera too, just on the progression and the fact that where you started is really how you gain so much of your experience, and then it's a progression from there. And it's awesome to know that you own your own trucks too. I think that's awesome.
Yeah, learn from the experience, right?
Yes.
All the old guys that knew what to do and take it and run with it. Teach the next guy.
Yeah, no, I agree. And yeah, my 11-year-old's obviously not on here, but for those that listen to the podcast often, they've seen him before. And yeah, that's what I'm trying to install into him is there's a lot of value in our industry. There's a lot of opportunity. And it's just, I like hearing people's backstory that you show the progression. And yeah, there's so many different valuable skills you did learn from, we want to call them the old timers, where they have years and years of history and they're just, in theory, pounding it into us, because that's similar to how I started, just hauling different stuff where, it's like, okay, without them, I wouldn't have nearly as much of those just instincts that you gain. So it's really powerful.
Yeah, well, it helps too, right? Because I mean, there's things that I've never operated in my life, but you give me 15 minutes, I'll give it a shot. I'll try it. I'm not scared.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, no, for sure. So I know the main purpose of our interview tonight, which I'm super hyped for, is it's the Lesco ProShow. It's the Country Christmas Convoy, which I think is just, when I first learned of it on social, I was super hyped. I was like, yes, there you go. That's awesome. And then after our, 1.5 prior conversations, same feeling, just super excited. So why don't you kind of walk us through what is the Lesco ProShow Convoy all about?
Well, so we started having truck shows at Leduc West Antique Society, which is a group of gentlemen in Leduc that have this huge area, and it's private collections and antique everything. They have antique tractors, steam engine tractors. There's a Rolls-Royce museum there. There's an old Ford tractor museum there. So we started having our truck shows there, and it was the COVID year, so it was participants only. And they asked us if we would be interested in bringing 10 roughly well-lit trucks to the Leduc Country Lights. That's what it's called. Oh, geez. And they have 3 million Christmas lights in this facility, and it's set up on all the old equipment and all the buildings, and they have all kinds of little displays set up. So I was asked by Tina at Lesko if I would be interested in helping her set it up. At first it was only just to have 10 trucks out there lit up, and I said, well, why don't we collect some toys and do a convoy or something? And she said, well, if you can make it happen, make it happen. So I talked to a couple of the guys that go to the truck shows and stuff, and I got quite a bit of interest. So we sat down, we figured out what sponsors the sponsors would pick and what they would like to see for trucks. So we picked about 10 or 15 trucks, and that was it. It was just like a trial and error thing, and it went really well last year. We ended up with 20 trucks. We had about $4,500 in food and toys, and we delivered it, and we got a lot of attention from the spectators that were coming to see the 3 million Christmas lights that didn't even know the trucks were going to be there. So it went really well, and they said, would you care to do it next year and make it bigger, make it better, make it bigger? So we said, yeah, let's do it. So we've been collaborating since last year, trying to figure out how to make it a little bit bigger, a little bit better, and more known.
Powerful, man.
Yeah.
Powerful. Yeah, I love it. I love when idea turns into concept, turns into action, and then it happens. And that's exactly what it did. And the fact that you mentioned initially, if it can help make someone's Christmas better, and 4,500 in toys and food is incredible for kind of a first trial and error. And 20 trucks rolling down the highway, the video that you showed was super cool. So it's just like, okay.
And that was only 3 weeks preparation. That's all we had was 3 weeks preparation. This year we've been working on it. We've had posters out for over a month. And everywhere I go, I talk about it. It's all I have. It's all I talk about. Even when I come home, that's all I talk about.
It's awesome.
And the truck show next year, right?
Yes. Yeah. So. Good. Yeah, I know it's nice to have those passion things to speak on too, especially with being heavily involved. It really matters. And yeah, I think that's awesome. So when is it? Where is it? And how do people sign up?
Okay, so it's on December 11th. It starts at Blackjack's Roadhouse in Nisku. We will be grouping from noon till about 5 o'clock. Hopefully pull some people in to have a look at the trucks in the daylight, maybe pull in some donations, bring some people in and support Blackjack's because they're giving us their parking lot and helping us with that, so that we can get, a bigger turnout and stuff like that. For donations, we have King Custom in Nisku, the polish shop. He has a bin set up. He's already been TikToking it that they had some anonymous donations dropped off today. Lesko is taking donations, and I believe the Atchison Truck Wash is taking donations as well. For registration, you can contact myself, Todd Wojtes with Alberta Large Cars, or Lesko Distributors.
Perfect. Yeah, I'll make sure to include that in. Sorry, I'll make sure to include how to get in contact with people in the show notes as well.
Yes, it's for registration. It's a minimum of $50 donation of non-perishable food items and new toys. That's your registration for the trucks. Registration cutoff, I think we were going to do the 1st of December, pending what we have for numbers. because we were shooting for 100, but I mean, we're a long ways from there, but it's still 3 weeks to a month away, right? So
Yeah, it's going to be one of my questions is how many, what was the goal for truck count? And 100 is a lot. That's
I know
incredible.
that's a huge goal, and you all year you get people talking about it and all how they want to go, and so you just pick a big number and hope for the best, right? Like, I mean, we went from having only being able to have 10 trucks, and we showed up with 20 last year, and those guys were ecstatic. They wanted more. So
yeah.
I mean, it could take a few years to get those numbers, but if we go there with 21 trucks this year, I'm happy. If we go there with 5, I'm happy. As long as there puts smiles on kids' faces.
Yes. Yeah. So would you say the ultimate goal is the impact for the kids?
Yes, it is definitely. It's
Nice.
I mean, what would Christmas be without toys and food, right?
Yeah. No, I agree. I think it's I'm a dad, so when I think of my kids and my little guy who's just turned 3, and you give him a little McDonald's toy and it made his life. And then my oldest, who's a little older, can't give him a McDonald's toy to make his life anymore. But yeah, just the appreciation, especially when they weren't expecting it, and just even the overall experience, I think is just phenomenal. And it's just awesome to see you guys putting this much effort into it.
Yeah, well, like last year, we had an anonymous $2,000 cash donation to go and buy toys and stuff. And me and Tina and Todd went to Leduc Canadian Tire and spent $2,000 in like half an hour. But I don't think the 3 of us smiled more in 10 years than we did that day, just because it was so exhilarating buying all these toys for kids, right? See the look on people's faces, or to know the look on people's faces in the morning when there's a hockey stick under their tree, and mom and dad haven't been working, right? I mean, Leduc and Nisku got affected with COVID and, the downturns all the times. And then that area employs a lot of people. So.
Yeah, I agree. And I agree though, just the impact of a unexpected gift, and just even the peace of mind for the parents, and just the joy knowing that it could be complete strangers. And it really highlights also the transportation industry and just the quality of people like yourselves and like your team that are really just doing this for the goodness of your heart to make an impact. I think all of it's just incredible.
Yeah. Yeah, it's touching. I mean, growing up not having everything either, right, probably makes it all that more in personal, right? So
yeah, no, I agree. So the convoy itself, you said it starts at Blackjack's. Can you drop the address? I know Blackjack's, I see them all the time, like in the social world, but I've never physically been there. So do you know exactly where they are? And then where does the convoy go to?
okay, so Blackjack's address, 2110 Sparrow Drive, Nisku. Right in town in Nisku, by the Flying J and the Petro Pass. And it is going to go to Leduc West Antique Society, which is 49541 Range Road 260, Leduc County. So it's about a 13 or 14 kilometer convoy. It'll go down Highway 2 through Leduc and then into Leduc West Antique Society. We're working on permits with Alberta Transportation and Leduc County so that they know that they can help us with traffic control and enforcement and stuff. We have about 10 pilot cars lined up that we're going to stick in the front and the middle and all the way through all the trucks and help light it up.
That's awesome. And then you said it starts at noon at Blackjack's. You're going to hang out for a bit. You'll do the convoy, and then at the Antique Center, you said it'll go until about 10 at night?
Yes. So from noon till 5, we'll just be grouping. Like if anybody comes down, checks out the trucks, drops maybe, if there's donations to be dropped off last minute, we'll accept them there. We will accept them at Leduc West as well. And then I'm going to say about 4 or 5 o'clock, we'll start getting everything geared up to head to Leduc West to show up just before dark, so that when we're coming in, you can see us coming, and we'll set up. It doesn't take us long to get set up. We've done enough truck shows there now, and one convoy last year that we'll be able to just wheel in, and then we're there for the viewing. We're there to accent the 3 million Christmas lights that are set up at Leduc, and we'll be there till about 10.
3 million lights.
It's crazy. Once you see it, like it's crazy. It's worth the $2 admission and the drive to go see it.
Yes. Yeah. And is it something where people would drive, like once the trucks and everything are set up, you can drive through it, or do you hop out and walk through it?
It's all walk through. It's walk through. Bring your kids, bring your dogs. Dress warm. There'll be fire pits set up again, and the trucks will be all set up around, and yeah, it's amazing. I didn't believe that there was actually 3 million lights there till I seen it.
It's insane.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a record.
It's like Santa's workshop there for the whole month of November, December, because they do accept Christmas lights and like reindeer and stuff. Even if they don't work anymore, they'll still use them for props for the lights. So we went the one day and they were working on them, and I was like, there's like 500 deer there with lights on them. Like they're just rebuilding them, making them work, setting them up. It's amazing.
Wow. I love it. Growing up as a kid, I didn't really get the opportunity to appreciate any stuff like that. And now just, again, being a dad and being even in a community that I can't say there's 3 million lights in our community by any means, but just really just the joy and the sense of community. And yeah, I could only imagine 3 million lights and being like, oh my God, that's mind boggling.
Yeah,
so.
It's definitely worth it. It's worth the walk through, and like people drive from, a couple hours away to come and see it. And we had a huge turnout for it last year. I don't know if it had anything to do with being COVID related, with finally being able to get out and do something outside, or if it had anything to do with the trucks. But they had like record numbers there last year and it was the first weekend that they were open, and it was crazy.
It's amazing. I love it, man. I just love the community factor. And again, it really highlights just the quality of people in our industry that I don't think is talked about enough. And that's one of my biggest missions, is to highlight people like yourself that are, you know what, I'm going to make a change. You know what, I want to impact some people. I want to impact some kids. Let's get some good people together and make it happen. I love spotlighting that in our industry. So this is super cool.
Yeah. Well, it all went back to one day I complained I was at Lesko buying chrome, what I do best. And I complained that we don't have enough meets, like weekend meets, meet out at a little mom and pop burger stand on the side of the highway and have a coffee and a conversation. And that's when they approached about starting this, and she said, well, I got a job for you. You complain that nobody has enough meats. Well, I got a little job for you. I said, what is it? Let's do it. Come on, let's go. Yeah. So.
Awesome, man. It's awesome. So you talk about Lesko. So what exactly, or who is Lesko? What as an organization, what are they all about?
They are a small family-owned truck accessory shop, and they deal with lights and chrome and they do installs now. That they'll put pipes and visors on your trucks and a lot of custom stuff. And they're the ones that host the truck shows every year up here. And this year the truck show, we had a record number. We had 145 registered and 126 or 127 show up from like 50 a few years ago, right? And I like the truck shows. I went for 2 or 3 years before I started taking my own to the truck show, and it's just I don't know. I eat, breathe, and sleep the truck shows now. I help quite a bit with that stuff too now. Like this year me and Todd helped set up the like park the trucks and get everything lined up and stuff so that they could focus on other stuff for the truck show. So I love trucks. That's all I have to say.
It's so awesome. And then same, so Alberta Large Cars, I know it's a community, but can you kind of highlight just their involvement, what they're about? Is it just a social hangout? Is that just, I guess, one way so everyone stays connected, or how are they involved?
Well, it started as a Facebook group, and we're up to 500 members. Most of it's a closed group. Everybody's out to help each other, and the biggest help with Alberta Large Cars with the toy run and the truck shows is the followers. And like a lot of us are in the group, and everybody helps each other out, and yeah, it's like the followers and yeah, like a family, right?
Nice. Yeah, I love the community aspect of our industry, and especially when obviously you can't always hang out with 300,000 plus people, but when you have a tight knit group and you're fighting the same battles and you're there for each other, I think that's really important.
Yeah, the Alberta Large Cars did do a few convoys and toy runs in the past. It just gets too hard with like two guys who are doing it, right? But like with this one now, we have, I don't know, there's probably 5 or 6 of us that are really, really, really into it and pushing it, right? And it helps when there's more help.
Yeah, I agree for sure. So just to kind of as a recap, can you kind of highlight again, how do people register to the convoy, and what are is it like a can of food, or what type of food should you bring, as well as the toys? Is there any specifics?
So to register, contact myself or Todd or Lesko. Toys and food is non-perishables, right? So canned food, boxes of food, noodles, pasta, toilet paper, even toothpaste, stuff like that. Anything that can help, right? Toys, new toys we can accept, like a bag full of teddy bears or something like that. We found that last year we didn't get as much for like the older kids and stuff, because everybody thinks kids, right? Like under 11, there's still 11 to 15, 16-year-olds that go without too, right? So
yeah, no, for sure. And then what if, because you mentioned that there was anonymous $2,000 for toys donation, which is incredible. So I deal with a lot of just different businesses in our industry. So if some of these businesses wanted to, show their support through dollars or through direct toys, is that another option that someone could reach out to you and say, hey, here's a check, use it for that kind of thing?
we can do it. I would have to find out the finer details on how we do that. I'd have to talk to Tina about it. But like that donation was, here you go. It was a straight cash deal. Go buy toys. So I would assume a lot of donations like that would go into toys and food, just to mix to add to that. I'm not sure how the food bank and Santa's Little Helper would accept cash donations, but that's one thing that I can look into, and I can always have a better answer once that stuff starts coming in, right?
Perfect. Yeah, that's a big call to action. So to all of our corporate friends, make sure you give your money to Bradley. It's going to a great cause. So
I need home. No, just kidding.
Yeah. No, I really support it. And I just, the overall mission, and just, I could only imagine when kids see the 3 million lights, let alone adults, to just, there's actually Christmas presents under the tree. And from a parent's perspective, especially when people are going through tough times, it's just so helpful. And 20 years from now, that's what people are remembering. It's not necessarily the super whatever fancy video game that people could buy. It's the fact that, hey, we thought we had nothing, then all of a sudden we were blessed with stuff, and it's just really powerful. So I really support what you guys are doing.
Thank you.
Yeah,
it's one of those convoys that isn't protesting. It's actually supporting, right?
Yeah, no, I agree. So just kind of as we come to a close, were there any final thoughts that you wanted to share today?
No, I'm pretty good. I think we covered most of it.
Awesome. Yeah, no, I really appreciate you taking the time. I know just with your own work schedule and just being a really busy guy, it can be hard to lock down some time, but I do appreciate you hopping on, and I really believe this our platform is going to help. So
yeah, I'm really glad we were able to set this up tonight. I kind of worked it so that it would work out this way. Try to get home and wind down.
No, I appreciate it very much. And just, means a lot anytime I can support just different community initiatives as well, because it means a lot to myself and to my family too. So thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. I'm extremely ecstatic that you reached out to us, and I really hope this helps.
Totally agree. Yeah. So, but thanks so much again. And if you're interested in attending, please do. Of course, in the show notes is how you can get in contact with Bradley, with Lesko, and all of the information will be in there. And remember, December 11th starts at noon at Blackjack's, and it'll go until about 10 at night. And just super great cause, super great convoy. And I hope you hit at least 100 trucks. I think that's just going to be so incredible. So big goals.
Me too. For sure. I hope we get the numbers.
Yes. Yeah, I agree. I think that's just, I know what 100 trucks in a row looks like, and that is beast mode awesome. So I'm really excited for you.
It's going to be chaos, but it's going to be cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
There will be train horns.
Yeah. No, it's awesome. But thank you so much again for hopping on, Bradley. This was great. I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Yeah. Have a great day, babe.
You too. Thank you.
Hey, Bradley, thank you so much for hopping on the podcast today. Super appreciate just everything you and your team are doing to, just have this phenomenal event go live on December 11th. So big shout out, honestly, to Lesko distributors as well, to the Antique Society in Leduc County, just everything. It's just really, really impactful. And 3 million lights, honestly, that just blows my mind. So I'm super excited for the upcoming country convoy, So I'm super excited for the upcoming Christmas convoy, just the entire idea, the initiative, just to bring families together for the donations. So if it's toys and non-perishable foods, just to support different families in the Leduc County community, just all of it's incredible. So again, all of our listeners, make sure that you show your support. If you can physically be there, please do. If it's something that you just want to just contribute to, please reach out to either Bradley or Lesko distributors. Of course, their contact details are in the show notes. This is just going to be an incredible event, and I'm just super excited that I got to be partially involved just to spread the word. But again, thank you so much. Really appreciate it. So again, Bradley, keep up the great work, man. Just really encouraged by everything that you and your team is doing. It's just really nice to see, again, really good people in industry doing really good things for a great cause. So again, thank you so much for that. So to all of our dedicated listeners, I just want to say thanks. Really appreciate you hopping on, taking the time to listen, and I really encourage you to get involved. So to all of our corporate friends, make sure you help out. I know that times can be tough for different families, so that now is the right time for us to say, you know what, let's come together and help some families out. So if you have the ability to, please donate to this great event. And obviously, if you're in the area and you can attend, please do. It's going to be phenomenal. So, but I just really thank you so much to all of our listeners. If this is the first time you've ever checked out a Truck Focus podcast, you're welcome. I'm super hyped that I got to introduce you to Bradley and talk about this really good upcoming event. And just, it's really good to have you join the community. I really appreciate you investing the time to listen today. So if you're listening to this on a podcast platform, I do ask you subscribe, you like, you share it. Just that way, again, you're notified of upcoming episodes. Same thing, if you're watching this on YouTube, I do ask you like, subscribe, hit the notification bell so that way you know all upcoming episodes when they go live. We do release an episode at least once a week, normally on Monday mornings. And we're all about creating a pivotal impact in the transportation industry. So again, thank you for all of the support. If you've not yet done so, I also ask that you subscribe to our monthly newsletter. It's just a different way for industry leaders to get their message to you. And it's just, really good content. So sometimes it's how-to, sometimes it's promos, lots of good stuff. And it's all transportation specific. So it's really good. And again, I just really appreciate all of your support. Hope you have a really great day, and let's create a pivotal impact. Bye.